Hello, Past Bing. Today is the first of the hardest months to say. February. And I spent a lot of time over the weekend thinking about what you did with your dice rolls and applying D&D logic to the real world. I decided to do something that you didn't do, which is make some character sheets. For anyone who doesn't play D&D, a character sheet is like your stats in a video game. It decides what you're good at, what you're bad at, what your special skills are, what spells you know. You consult your character sheet anytime you need to roll. You get out of bed, you look at yourself in the mirror. Are you happy with what you see? Roll charisma. You passed. You feel good. Your place is getting a bit messy and you need to tidy up. So roll strength? Or maybe survival. You pass, mustering the energy to make your kitchen spotless. You need to work on a video, and you can't wait for creative inspiration to happen. Roll performance, or maybe it's investigation if there's research to be done. But you pass again, because your character sheet says you're good at those things. In consultation with my friends who know me very well, I tried to figure out what my character sheet would look like. I'm gonna talk you through some of the decisions that I made. Sticking only with the basic rules, I figured that the closest approximation to what I do in the classes is Bard. A Bard is a performer who has limited magic and they're good at like charisma rolls and performance and deception and stuff, right? Within the base game, I think that's the closest you can get to what I do. Past Bing is level 5 and his strength is 10, which is very low. He gets a +0 modifier. I did that because at the time you're shooting Past Bing, you're not working out, you're not really like looking after your body beyond the kind of base level of staying alive and not making yourself sick. Your dexterity is 12, which is also fairly like poor to average. He's a little slow. He's a little sad. That's fine. Your constitution is also 12, which is average. That gives you a +1 modifier. You can withstand a kind of average amount of toxins without it destroying you. For intelligence, now, I have to put these points somewhere. I actually didn't use all of the points that I could use because I felt like it was a bit of a push, but I have to put these points somewhere. And so the next one down is intelligence. I think I'm like fairly smart. If you need like evidence of that, I would point to the fact that I spent the last like 6 or 7 years teaching at a university. Right, so like I think I'm an intelligent guy and I think I can justify the fact that Past Bing has 16 intelligence. I think that's okay. That gives Past Bing an intelligence modifier of +3 on intelligence rolls. I think that's fine, right? It gets even dicier, if you'll excuse the pun, when we're talking about wisdom, right? Because everybody wants to be wise. Nobody wants to say they're wise. And there's this kind of tacit understanding that being wise also means being humble. But I needed to put a number in wisdom, and I picked 14. My evidence that I will submit to you, to the jury, for that score, which gives me a +2 modifier, is I am genuinely finding watching your Past Bing videos insightful. I find them inspiring and interesting. I think the whole kind of vibe that I'm getting from you, Past Bing, is wisdom and growth. That's the tone you are setting in your videos, and I think that justifies a 14 wisdom, okay? And then the last score is charisma, which is related to skill checks like performance and persuasion and deception and stuff, right? It's your ability to like charm people or convince people of things. And again, I think I'm okay at those things. So I gave PB 14 charisma because I think you're good at speaking, if maybe sometimes a little melancholy or over dramatic. So yeah, 12 dex, 12 constitution, 16 intelligence, 14 wisdom, 14 charisma. That's Past Bing. He can only speak common. He can play the drums fairly well. He is proficient with small weapons and light armor, and there are a couple of bard features that you can pick. I went with Jack of all trades and cutting words, which is where I can use my inspiration to hurt people's feelings, basically. I didn't actually bother equipping anything on either of these sheets, so Past Bing and Future Bing only have unarmed strike bludgeoning damage, which I think is accurate. Moving on. Future Bing. I upgraded Future Bing to level 10, which let me make a few more decisions. I didn't really futz with the equipment or anything, but I have a few more spells and different stats. I also did something here which you don't really do in D&D. I actually took a couple of stats down. Future Bing's strength is 16, giving him a +3 modifier on strength checks. That's because Past Bing, starting in March, you are going to work out 4 times a week and start bulking. I have undertaken quite the body transformation in the last year, and it's an ongoing effort, and as a result, I look and feel very different physically. Dexterity has stayed the same, however. I have not really been doing the kind of exercise that makes you more like flexible or acrobatic or particularly proficient at anything. It's really just been like grunting and bulking and lifting things. There's no finesse, so I didn't raise Dex. Dex is still 12. Constitution has gone down. Future Bing's Constitution is 10. And here's why, right? I have a justification for this. Once the things that happened at the beginning of 2020 happened, I stopped going out, I stopped visiting pubs, which drastically cut down the amount that I drank alcohol. I started eating healthier, but I also started eating more. And one of the things I've discovered about that kind of diet is you become particularly sensitive to things that upset you. Because you're eating more overall, you're eating a little bit more than maybe you need, the littlest thing I've discovered becomes a lot bigger. I have no tolerance for alcohol whatsoever because I drink it so rarely, and I feel the effects of greasy or overly fatty food way more because of this lifestyle. So, at least from a kind of gastric perspective, I am more fragile than Past Bing. My intelligence went up 1 and is now sitting at 17, which is still a +3 modifier. I just increased it the minimum amount because I'm a year older and I read more books. Wisdom, again, has gone down, just by 1 this time. And my rationale for that is that as Future Bing, who has more of a deadline with these videos, I don't have nearly as much time to plan them and get them just right. A necessity of this project is that Future Bing will always feel a little bit more spontaneous and a little more rough around the edges. So I don't think like necessarily that I am more or less wise than I was a year ago, but I think I'm in a position where I'm less capable of showing it. And charisma has gone up from 14 to 16, bringing me up to a +3 modifier because, as a result of everything I just said, maybe I'm a little bit more approachable. Right? You're in a weird place, Past Bing, and it's very compelling, but maybe makes you a little bit standoffish. And as both the other half of this collab channel and the PR guy doing all the extra work that you didn't need to, I really need those better charisma rolls. Future Bing also has a few more spells and skills. I got a spell called Counter Charm. I learned the spell Clairvoyance because I know what's going to happen to you. And I learned Speak with Dead, which I felt like I needed, but I couldn't really put my finger on why. There's another mechanic in D&D that comes up quite a lot when you're doing skill checks. It's called advantage or disadvantage. When you have disadvantage on a roll, you have to roll it again, and you are forced to take the lower number. This means statistically you are far more likely to fail at that action. Sometimes you get advantage or disadvantage because of something that you have, something that you're wearing, or a cool idea that you've had that your DM wants to reward. Other times it's environmental. The floor is slippery, the hill is too steep, there's a poisonous gas in the air, or something is obscuring your vision. And here's the thing. We are all rolling with the disadvantage. This situation that we are living in, this isolation, stress, and loneliness that we deal with on a daily basis, forces us all to roll with disadvantage. So roll again. You get out of bed, you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't like what you see. You need to tidy your house, but you don't feel like it. And you try to be creative, but you can't. And even after leveling up and adding to my stats and increasing my strength, I don't know if this character could defeat the Nothic. And a video to go advertises the new channel and the new series. Thread. You may